What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gaming Society Divisional Round Weekend, the football show. I'm Dave Anderson. That's Mike Vick. We're in the playoffs, Mike. We're in the playoffs.
You almost got it. You almost got the whole thing going on.
Yeah. Playoffs. Yeah. Every playoff weekend, I want you guys to play Mike Vick's picks for free, and you can win a chance to be on the show with us and a chance for a free month of Fubo TV. That's right. Answer any questions, or not any. Answer all the questions correctly on gs.predictions.com for a chance to win. That's right. And a big shout out to John Mendoza on winning the Super Wild Card weekend. He'll be joining the show later. But right now, we're going to break down the Gaming Society Divisional Round weekend. But we got a lot to recap. When we always start with the all-ins, Mike. We always start with the all-ins. You had the Bills over the Patriots. Well done. And I had the Rams over the Cardinals. Back in the game, baby. Well done. This leaves you at 9-5. So if you're listening to all-in bets, I'd pay more attention to Mike Vick. And I'm 500, 7-7, but well over 50. You're doing well. But Bills over the Patriots. That was a big pick, but we'll be picking next week's to our all-in bets at the bottom of this show. But I do have to brag, Mike, in our all-in bets. We're gonna also start counting playoffs. Playoffs, you went 2-4. We had 6 picks. You went 2-4. I went 5-1. The only L I took was Dallas, which would be which is an issue. But I'm curious. You went 2-4. There must be a lot of teams that impressed you, or a lot of situations that caught you off guard. I'm curious. Super Wild Card weekend. What stood out to you?
Dallas. That caught me off guard. The fact that they got behind so quickly, when I felt like that should have been a tick-for-tack game. And then Arizona last night, just not even being competitive, and just they looked like a team that was defeated. They looked defeated a couple weeks ago, but I felt like Kyler could bring them out of that slump. But Arizona Cardinals are a young team, and they just need some juice. They need some energy. They lost D-Hop. They lost their lifeline. He was their lifeline, and they just couldn't survive without him. It was like, so I think, everybody else kind of, they played the games that I thought they would play. Buffalo, I felt like Buffalo would really dominate the Patriots. That's why I picked them last week, and then we knew what we was getting with Pittsburgh. It was just good to see Big Ben go out in the playoffs, and he can always say, I finished my career in the playoffs, and can't too many people say that. So the teams that were supposed to advance, they advanced, and the teams who were supposed to win, they won. And Dallas was a shocker, though. I will say that.
I think Dallas was kind of a shocker for what you mentioned. They got jumped on early and fast, kind of taken out of their game. Which the thing that I remember about Dallas is you and I were really high on them because of the athletes they have. I think it was like week 14 and 15 they were just punishing people, and then week 16 they just showed who the dark side of having athletes that didn't care, and then came back for a nice victory. But we thought they were going to show up for the playoffs, and they didn't. Did you think it was San Francisco's game plan that caught them off guard? Do you think it was like when that happens? What is it that happens?
No, I mean, it's clear that San Francisco is not what the Philadelphia Eagles were in week 17, if I'm saying it correctly, or week 18. What was it? I know we had 17 games.
Yeah.
The final week of the season.
Yeah, week 18.
When Dak went out and annihilated, my squad, everybody was like, but we had a lot of people out, and Dak did his thing, and rightfully so. But you come in and you playing against a team that's they fully loaded. Everybody's healthy. The defense is strong, and now you got to really bring it. It's playoffs. It's a different atmosphere. It's a different type of pressure. So that you fall behind, and to Dak's credit, a lot of that wasn't his fault, man. They take one step forward and then 2 steps back. All them penalties, like the undisciplinedness and all that, they can only blame themselves. So it came down to, we'll talk about it later in the show, but it came down to Dak in one play and what happened. But man, they lost that game in like the second quarter.
That wasn't
third quarter when they had to come from behind.
Yeah.
And, the 49ers is not the team to be trying to play catch up with. Too strong of an offensive game plan.
No, I think that it was surprising with the Cardinals and the Cowboys, and they showed a lot of immaturity, which we didn't really expect. I think what was interesting, the Cardinals, they had some key guys missing, and I think that's where their immaturity showed in the playoffs. But Dallas has had these issues. You thought they were going to overcome them. I think that was kind of the most surprising thing to me. The Cardinals, I do want to touch on this, though. LA showed up. They were loud. They caused some confusion from those Cardinals. But tell me, because I was a one in college. I was the guy in college. But what it does to Kyler Murray when playoff time, crunch time, you don't have a guy like Hopkins out there on the field. What does that do for your just game management?
Yeah, we just feel like I can only imagine going into a game without Deshaun Jackson. Like when I had Deshaun, even the games when he was hurt in the regular season when he wasn't playing, it was very disturbing for me. I'm like, I don't have my guy. I don't have my guy that is so reliable. I know at some point he's going to beat somebody and he's going to come over. It might not happen for 2 quarters. You look at some of my games. Sometimes D-Jack didn't have a catch to the 4th quarter, but it was his presence that opened it up for Macklin and opened it up for Shady and all those guys. So, when you look at it, it all got to mesh together. So you look out there and it's no D-Hop and you're like, it's deflating. It's deflating, truly.
Yeah. And I think what you forget is then the defense can quickly and easily rearrange, right? Now you would have had Ramsey on one side of the field following Hopkins around. Now he can kind of move whenever he wants. You always hear about good defenses taking away their primary target or their number one thing. Well, when an injury does that for a defense, I just imagine how much easier it makes game planning. And it was a shame because everyone wanted to see competitive games in the playoffs. But for our newsletter's intriguing matchup of the week, we have some super competitive games this week. And I think one that everyone's looking forward to. Our odds here are brought to you by the Fubo Sportsbook. The Bills are playing the Chiefs. The 4 seed versus the 2 seed. I think everyone's throwing that out. This is probably who is going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Kansas City is favored by 2 points. They're at home. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
A rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. What you don't like these two? You don't think Okay, let's start there.
No,
I like the rest of the public and overlooking Tennessee. I'm overlooking Tennessee, I think, right? But
I'm not overlooking. Yeah, don't overlook Tennessee, man. I think everybody overlooked Tennessee all year, and they got to be taken serious. You got to take them serious. And then Derrick Henry coming back. They got the bye. He might come back fresh. I don't know if they get ugly, man. They well-coached team. A very well-coached team.
Yeah. Okay. Fair is fair. So, but I do think the Bills and the Chiefs are 2 hot teams right now. Can't argue with that. A rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. The battle of probably some of the future of the NFL between these quarterbacks. Walk me through what these guys are going through mentally right now as they're coming down. You are marching down this. You've been in this situation where you're facing one of the hottest teams in the NFL. It's playoff time. Now everyone's watching you. Walk me through what the mindset of these quarterbacks are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week.
Okay. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, obviously you think about advancing and what it's going to take to advance. That's nerve-wracking, but it's the reality that you're living in, and you got to embrace it. You got to be ready to go out, and you know that it's going to be a crowd, whether you're home or on the road, and it's going to be a lot of energy. It's going to be a lot of tension and a lot of energy, but you of all people got to be calm in those moments, and that's what I was looking forward to seeing from Kyler Murray last night. Can he be calm in that moment and compartmentalize and put it all together and find success in a tough environment? And, I only judge myself based on, what I did in my post-career, especially early. wild card weekend, beating Brent Favre in Lambeau Field. We won that game. Like, we advanced, and it wasn't easy. But I felt like in that moment, I was like the calmest I've ever been in my life, and that was one of the coolest moments that I've ever been in my life. And I'm glad to say that I enjoyed that time, and I had a chance to beat one of the game's best at a critical point in my career.
Did you have a big play early on that allowed you to calm down? Do you think that was maybe key, or was it a series or something like that?
It was the first series. We came out, got the ball first, went right down, marched 70 yards, and scored. I hit Sean Jefferson on like a 13-yard pass, a nice slant. I hit him. Hey, Dave, I hit him. I fired the ball in there. It hit him in the chin. Like, he stuck to his neck. The slant to the net.
He didn't have a choice but to catch it.
Not but catch it. Like, it was stuck between the bottom of his cage and his top of his shoulder.
I love
pads.
that.
Boom,
I love that.
Check out the highlight.
That's a perfect place for a slant.
Yeah, hit him right in the neck.
That's hilarious. and it's kind of like anything in sport, right? Like, and we touched on this last week when we were talking about just getting in the flow of the game and feeling the rhythm for a quarterback. I bet you make a pass like that. Now I'm in rhythm. My confidence is high. Now I can stay calm. Talk me through the opposite of that, though. Man. When you're not calm and you're a little shaky, what do you do? What does a guy like Josh? Josh Allen's going to be out there. The crowd's going to be going crazy. He just throws an interception. What does he have to do to get calm? You know what I mean? That's something each of these quarterbacks are going to have to deal with.
Well, crowd noise can be traumatizing sometimes in the right environment. If you're getting whipped and smacked around and that crowd keep cheering and you got to keep your confidence up, man. Like, you got to know going into the playoffs that for 3.5 quarters, things might not go right, but it might be that last 6 minutes where I'm really needed and I can show up. Because it's about team ball, too. It's about the offense getting possessions and making them successful and scoring touchdowns and getting points. And then it's about the defense getting stops and hopefully a turnover here or there and creating some short fields and some 3 and outs. So it's a total team game. So while all that's happening, you got to still feel like, I'm in the game. I understand what's going on. I like this. I'm loving it. This is why I play the game. This is when legends are made. And how great do you want to be? Just ask yourself that in that moment. Yeah. How great do I want to be in this moment? And then let it flow. Let it fly.
I think that's probably one of the things I miss the most about playing sports is those arena moments you just can't manufacture. Right. All right. There's no way to just pack everyone in the stands, add a bunch of pressure on you, and do something that you've been training for whatever the last 25 years of your life to go do. Like that's always something that just gives me goosebumps just thinking about being out there, Green Bay, 5 degrees,
right?
Fans booing you. 1 minute 30 left. Mike Vick looking you in the eyes, saying, "Hey, I'm coming to you on choice right here. Get open, right? Like your quarterback just yelling at you, get open. Like, I'm coming. Those are things that you definitely miss. The Bills and the Bills and the Chiefs. The other thing that I think is really interesting is both these teams are coming off 40 plus point performances. Did you ever think to yourself like, hey, we're gonna have to put up 40 to win? Or were you just like, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I'll match you though. I know when you score, I gotta score.
Yeah.
I know if you score and you don't score, I need to score again. And we're gonna keep it going like that until it's a winner, it's an outcome. I think my win-loss record is pretty up to par. I think I'm like 70 and 60 or something in my career. I don't know. But I tried to keep that in good graces, man. Like, I tried to win more than I lost. Yeah. And, don't nobody like winning when you play the game, but a lot of people play the game for the wrong reasons and don't really appreciate what they get out of the game and what the game really means and the integrity. So I get that part too. So I took it serious, man. That's why I still love it to this day. That's why I still love jumping on with you, bro, and talking about it. talking about it.
Oh yeah, that's
Get them, man,
it certainly is. Speaking of betting, Bills are 2-dog are Kansas City's 2-point favorites. Who do you like in this game? Do you like Josh Allen in there coming in and winning, or and revenging after last year, or you like Kansas City hanging tough?
I just think it's gonna be tough, man. I just think it's gonna be tough to come into Arrowhead and beat them 2 times. Um, to really outduel Patrick Mahomes is what it's gonna take. And Andy Reid and Sean McDermott, they go way back and they know one another. And I think Andy is probably gonna go back and watch a lot of the film, and Sean gonna do the same thing. But Andy Reid brought it last week, and he came out with a lot of different plays, and there was a lot of innovation. And if you go back and watch the game, ladies and gentlemen, it was amazing. Like Andy really pulled out some tricks and some old stuff, and that's the thing he can do. He can go pull from old plays. Like he called me 2 off seasons, like a year ago, sent me a play in a text, and was like, "What's this?" I'm looking at it. I'm intrigued by it. I'm like, what was it? I knew what it was. It was a play called Ram. He was like, I'm bringing it back. And Ram was dope. Like,
that's
it was
awesome.
A cool play. Like it was a very successful play. So I know based on his opponent, he can go into the archives. And then you seen all the little underhand shuffle, touchdown passes, Tyreek movement. And then Jerick McKinnon showed up and getting off on the tangent. But it was beautiful to watch. So to answer your question, I think Kansas City went at home.
I think you're right just for that reason. And Andy Reid and what his creativity gets unleashed in the playoffs. I like Kansas City at home. I like them to cover. I think just for those reasons that you just mentioned about Andy Reid's ability to dig deep into the archives and find something. We got your archives, Mike. Mike, you're 76, 66, and 1, so definitely one more than you lost. Who'd you tie? Do you remember the tie?
I tied Pittsburgh in my second season. It had a good football team too. Plexico Burris. I think Tommy Maddox was the quarterback.
That's hilarious.
It was before Big Ben. They had what's the big homie, the linebacker, legendary linebacker for them, Joey Porter. They had a good group.
Yeah.
They had a good group of guys.
All right.
Yeah, so we tied though.
And how many game-winning drives do you think you had?
I'd say around 26. 17.
A little less. 15.
9?
15.
That's it.
15.
Stay hurt a lot.
Well, you got to count. I'm sure what you would count as a game-winning drive, like in the last 3 minutes to go over versus.
I was always ahead too. It goes to show I was always winning. And the games I lost, I have a chance.
Yeah, you got a chance. It's like can't have a walk-off home run
right.
out of way. That's hilarious. Yeah. We got a couple more games that we need to recap here, though, but we're both in on the Chiefs. The game that scares a lot of Green Bay Packers fans is playing the 49ers. If the 49ers have done anything, it's terrorize the dream, the sleep. They had what? How am I trying to say this? They've terrorized Green Bay Packers fans. They've murdered their aspirations for years. The Packers defeated the 49ers 30-28 on a game-winning field goal in Week 3 at Levi's. And I think I remember that game as being something when you predicted Aaron Rodgers was going to have a turnaround game because everyone was Week 3. Okay. If I remember, that was when we first started getting on. And Aaron Rodgers was struggling those first 2 weeks, and you were like, "Hey, don't sleep on him. He's coming around." And you're right, but you know what? Aaron Rodgers is 0-3 in the postseason against the 49ers.
Wow.
Does that creep into a quarterback's head? No.
Not Aaron Rodgers.
Like, I haven't beat these guys.
He's a man on a mission. He's a man on a mission. Like, all this stuff that Aaron Rodgers is doing, having fun, just being real meticulous about his approach, and even with the press, like, he having a good time, man. And that can be scary when a quarterback having that much fun.
Yeah.
When a quarterback having that much fun, it's flowing. I just feel like he's in
Yeah.
a groove, a serious groove right now, man. It's going to be hard to stop this man in the offense that they've built. They have built that together. Him and you know,
LaFleur.
shout out to
LaFleur, they come together,
LaFleur. Yeah, sorry, my Siri keeps talking on the computer. I don't know what this is.
Keep touching something. What was I going to say? The Georgia Bulldogs maybe inspired Aaron Rodgers. They couldn't get over the Alabama hump. Maybe it's time Aaron Rodgers gets over the 49ers hump. Because I can tell you, as a fan, you kind of worry about that. You know what I mean? Like, I remember the Indianapolis Colts having our number and me being like, man, we got to beat these guys. And instead of thinking, like, not that they were just another team, they were a team that had this thing on us. You know what I mean? There was just like, they had this additional even if they didn't, even if it was a completely new team, you know, they probably always had Peyton Manning, but there was always something about that. So it's good to know that, like, the flow of Aaron Rodgers, the way that he's feeling it, like it's not a team that really owned you. You know, did you have a team that at all in your career that you had a stretch that just whooped your ass, or did you ever have a team that owned you that frustrated the hell out of you?
Nah, I ain't play that. I did it. Hold on. I'm tripping. Hold on, I'm tripping.
What about high school? What about high school ball? What about high school ball?
Hold on.
Yeah, who are you, Mike Vick?
Hold on, bro. I'm glad you asked me that because I just got brought back to reality. I got to humble myself. The Bucs. The Bucs was the reason I didn't want to get to a Super Bowl, and then the Eagles. The Eagles knocked me out in 2002, the divisional round. And they went on to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that's when the Bucs went and won it. And then they beat us in the NFC Championship game in 2004. And then the Bucs, I just couldn't beat the Bucs. I beat them once, like 2003, and then I might have won in 05 and once in 06. But when they was at their height, they kind of owned me. So yeah, the Bucs in a couple games and the Eagles, man. Andy Reid. It took a mastermind. It took a mastermind to get me.
Andy Reid
and a great middle linebacker and a great safety in John Lynch. Middle linebacker in Derek Brooks and John Lynch and Rondé Barber.
That was
Booger McFarland, Warren Sapp. Yeah, I had to deal with them. So yeah.
Well, that's an issue. That team is full of issues right there. That's a lot of good players.
We had a lot of problems.
The Colts when it was Freeney and all those guys on the edge. They had Bob Sanders used to terrorize all of us on the back end, but they used to kill us on Indianapolis Colts. The some of the interesting things that we're finding now with these teams, I think, is the coaching trees. Right, you talk about Andy Reid, and he's one of the godfathers of kind of the West Coast coaching tree, and a lot of these people, Mike Shanahan from the Bill Walsh, you know, that the Andy Reid came off of. This is Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur are from the same branch. They're from the same oak tree. What do you think this is like? This mentor, mentee, coach, offensive coordinator feel between these two coaches? Do you think it's sometimes they over game plan? Have you ever been a part of one side or the other?
I mean, if you think about it, Sean McVay in that group too, and all three of those guys still standing in the playoffs. That's very impressive coming from that tree. They all running the NFC. If you think about it, so that's really cool. But I don't think, because everybody has the core, right, of the offense, and then a lot of different variations. So, you send people off to study this, and people making suggestions about that, and you're playing different opponents. So, you get wrinkles, and you find different concepts along the way. I know playing quarterback, we always dove into what other teams was doing and how this defense played this defense, and we'll come up with plays out of that. So that's where the innovation come from, and that's how your offensive mind continues to expand, because you can't run the same plays every week. I can run the same plays every week, but I gotta add some motions and some shifts, and I gotta put guys in. I can't make it look the same, or the D gonna know it's coming. So you got to switch it up and find different ways to do things. So I just think it's a lot of different variations that guys add on when they come from that same tree.
They add the variations, and it feels like they start infusing their own personality into the play calls, into the way that they obviously communicate and coach the game. Yeah. And then I feel like that ultimately kind of like starts creating some bad blood between these guys in a lot of ways, especially when they end up in the playoffs, the ones beating each other, or you look at Shanahan and McVay when they're in the same division, always kind of fighting at each other. It's interesting, but that still doesn't. I mean, we still got to make a prediction on this game. You like the Packers. The Packers are 5.5-point favorites in this game. It's at Green Bay. Packers are the 1 seed. They waited a week for 49ers to fly up there. Who do you see winning this game?
Yeah, I respect the Green Bay Packers. I respect the hell out of the 49ers for everything they've been through over the last 2 weeks. And then Jimmy G and his fight and how tough they are as a football team. And are they ready for the Green Bay Packers? I think so. I think they got a lot of momentum, especially after the last week of the season and then first week of the postseason. Now it's about taking that next step. Can you do it against Aaron Rodgers? Yes, it can happen. But the deciding factor in this is that it's going to be 2 degrees. I think come kickoff. It's going to start off at like 8 degrees and it'll get to like -2. Boys from San Fran, they're going to be ready for that. And Green Bay just played in the game where they just whipped somebody. The last game, it was like 0 degrees. And Aaron Rodgers was like, yo, we love that. That's our type of ball. Yeah, it is. It's going to take a lot, man, to knock off this Green Bay team. So I think for that reason alone, with Aaron Rodgers being super hot and it's going to be ice cold, literally, they beat the 49ers.
All right. It's a 5.5-point spread. I don't think the game's going to come down to that many points. I like the Niners and how hot they've been, so I think they cover. I think this is a type of game that can go to overtime, and they might lose by a touchdown. But I'm gonna bet on the other side of this and think that the 49ers cover. But I do think this is a huge issue: is the weather and how cold it is. But we will see. There are 2 teams that get the benefit of not having to go to the Green Bay and play in the cold, and that's the LA Rams and the Tampa Bay Bucks. LA gets to go to the warm weather. We're all the retirement weather out there in Tampa Bay. Play the Bucks, who just dismantled your Eagles. And they just dismantled the Cardinals. 2 games that I don't think either of us really saw coming. But Tampa Bay favored by 3. The Rams beat the Bucks in week 3 out here in Los Angeles.
Yep.
Injuries are obviously plaguing Tampa Bay all over the place, offense and defense. Can Brady hold off the Rams when they've been loading up and getting healthy with Aaron Donald, Von Miller? They got a top-ranked pass defense. Do you like what Tom Brady can do, even with a few less men?
I like what Tom can do, because Tom is the magic, man. I said it this past week on our Fox Kickoff show. Tom is the magic, man, regardless of who you put out there. Now, I will say I know they had some injuries up front, and I don't know if they lost some guys. I didn't check the injury report, but going against Aaron Donald, man, like he can really wreck the game. He can make the game real difficult for Tom, and I think for that reason alone, the ball gonna come out quick. It'll come out real quick. How long? But at some point, you got to hold it. You got to push the ball downfield. And I just know this Rams defense, I always felt like it's one of the top in the league, especially with Von Miller getting acclimated, and then Ramsey and Donald, and then all the other guys filling in. But, now Odell Beckham, he in stride, and, Bucks got their hands full this week. It's a real challenge on their hands this week.
I feel like it took a couple weeks, and rightfully so, a couple weeks for those guys to start just getting into the rhythm of the game.
Yeah.
Did you ever go anywhere halfway through the year? Did you ever have to do that?
No, but I know how difficult that can be. Now, I got to Pittsburgh late, and that was a tough adjustment. So I got there right before the start.
Did you have to live in the hotel?
Lived in a hotel before I got an apartment, and yes, And it's I'm 13 years in, so it's very difficult. But
yeah,
it just take a lot of time to get acclimated, get comfortable just with your living conditions and being in a different city and trying to feel accepted and trying to feel normal. It's not an easy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The field is almost your only refuge in a lot of ways because that's the one place where you can feel normal, and you're working really hard to feel normal there. And all of a sudden, practice ends. And I remember, I went to the Washington football team I think it was week 8 of my 6th or 7th year, and I had to live in the Spring Hill Suites for 8 weeks. Like, I didn't know if I was going to be there for all 8 weeks. They told me, hey, we're bringing you in because Santana's hurt. We're not sure if we're going to keep you that long, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. So I just stayed there the whole time. I ended up staying the whole season in Spring Hill Suites, tried to make some friends, just like you mentioned. The only place that I, really could get comfortable was the football field, and I never felt comfortable because everything off the field was so uncomfortable. I think you got Vaughn and Beckham and all these guys that are now feeling comfortable. I mean, you just looked at the way Vaughn chased down some guys in that game. You look at Odell Beckham now; he's in on trick plays, not just straight up go routes and stuff like that. He's involved in the game plan. I feel like those guys have finally caught their flow. Los Angeles is a dangerous team, but like you said. The Tampa Bay's got the magic. Brady looking to go to his 15th conference championship. Is that not nuts?
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Is that not
greatest of all time?
I don't know. It's not even a question anymore, is it?
It'll never be another.
Never
be another. I don't think it'll ever be another guy that'll win 7 Super Bowls. How do you do that? Played in 10.
And he's not done. He's not done.
He says
they can easily win this year.
Getting stronger. Brady's arm getting stronger. Honestly, for real, he find balls. He find them to Gronk. I think he hit Gronk in the chin the other week.
For $1 million flat route. Yeah, $1 million flat route right into Gronk's chin.
Tom fired it in there. That was beautiful.
He's like, I'll give you a $500,000 flat route right here. Tampa Bay -3, -3. They're 3-point favorites. I don't know. I like LA. I'm going with the Rams going out there and disrupting what Tom's able to do with what they got going on up front, being able to stick with those guys on the back end, and then I think LA's got enough firepower with Cam Akers coming back, with Odell kind of finding his rhythm to actually, I don't think just cover but beat Tampa Bay, but. I mean, you're talking about the Magic. Are you running with the Magic or are you running with the Rams? I'm betting against the GOAT.
I mean, you kind of got to prove to me. Look, I love what the Rams represent this season. I love that Matthew Stafford is in this position. And it's his opportunity to go prove. And if he do, I won't be surprised because all he has to do is defeat the defense, and defense got to make some plays. The Rams, I'm talking in terms of stopping Tom. But you got to stop Tom. And until people show that they can stop Tom and what he brings to the table in the Magic, and I'm not betting against the GOAT. I'm sorry. I'm not betting against the GOAT.
All right. I respect your answer, Mike Vick. I respect
That's a respectable answer, man. That's all I can give you. Not betting against the GOAT.
Yes. You gotta the Tom Brady will be doing this without some key guys. Right, obviously, AB and Godwin are gone. But what's cool about this is we can tie this into some betting aspects here, and that I want you to answer this question: who will most likely step up for the Bucs? Not named Mike Evans and Gronk. Which player do you think will most likely step up?
Scotty Miller.
Yeah. I think so.
Scotty Miller back, correct? Yeah, Scotty Miller made some plays last year. So
Scotty's back.
I can see Scotty getting in the mix. Scotty got Cooper Kupp on the other side. And Scotty going to try to show he just as shifty.
No.
So I
Bucks.
Scotty Miller.
Bucks. Oh, you mean Cooper Kupp on the other side is in the other side? Yes.
Yeah.
All right, you like Scotty Miller. All right, let me give you a couple more guys. Who do you like out of these? Keyshawn Vaughn, Giovanni Bernard, Brashad Perriman, Tyler Johnson, Cameron Brate. Because I want you to know that you picked Scotty Miller, who has plus 725 odds to score a touchdown in this Tampa Bay game. So you're taking the long shot, and I love it. But the question for you: who's going to step up and score? Who can score a touchdown for Tampa Bay with the absence of AB and Godwin, not named Mike Williams and Gronk? Basically any of those guys tickle your fancy in terms of bet?
I can see Giovanni Bernard getting into action. This is usually the time of the year where Tom uses his backs a lot. We've seen him do it with Fournette last year. We've seen him do it with James White when he was in New England. So I think Giovanni Bernard could be effective coming out of the backfield. Him, and the other back, I forget his name, but he's been playing well. The back that they have now.
I like that.
You just mentioned his name.
Backs,
you just mentioned his name. Yeah, you just mentioned his name.
Which one?
Keyshawn Vaughn. Keyshawn Vaughn.
Oh, Keyshawn Vaughn. Yeah.
Yeah, Keyshawn Vaughn.
The Tampa Bay and the Rams are an obvious fun game to watch. I think the one that I'm most interested in, because I want to see Derrick Henry and what he can bring after sitting out. Yeah. The Bengals at the Titans. Derrick Henry expected to return after breaking his foot in my heart in Week 8. I don't know if I was on path to a Gaming Society fantasy football victory, and everything went down with that. Joe Burrow has been on fire. The Bengals are averaging over 30 points per game in their last 4, but they're going against the Titans defense as a top-ranked defense. Coach, tough as hell. Mike Vrabel type football team built for December, big tough dudes that want to smash people around. And that's why they're favored by 3.5 points. Yeah. I overlooked them at the top of the show. You called me out. Tell me why you like Tennessee here against Cincinnati.
I mean, I like Cincinnati. I like what they bring to the table. I love Joe Burrow. I love the team, but everybody's just been against Tennessee all year. It's like they've been on like a little roller coaster in terms of wins and losses, but they really won a lot more than they lost. And it just came at inopportune times of the year. It might have happened in Week 6 and Week 7, and then they might have lost again in Week 9. So it looked like there was some inconsistencies there, but they finished strong. And I just think having that bye, they're going to be healthy. They got close a couple years ago, so they know what it's like. I think they went to the Divisional round, if I'm not mistaken.
They went to
got close.
Yep.
Or was it the AFC Championship game? So they got
AFC
close,
Championship.
Man. And I think, you kind of you hit a point where you like know what it's like, and now you at home and you got this team coming in that's super hot, and you almost like at a point where you invite that, but I just think Tennessee they will prevail. They stubborn. I hate picking against Cincinnati. I hate that we got to pick winners and losers, but it's up to Cincinnati to go prove it.
Do you recall a number 1 seed being so disrespected by the public and everyone that talks football like this? Like I can't remember a number 1 seed in the AFC, NFC in the last 10 years that is thought of as so as irrelevant as people are thinking of as Tennessee right now.
Yeah, but first of all, I think because they're in the AFC South. Yeah, because they're in the AFC South, that we don't get to see them enough. You might see them on Monday night here and there. We might see them on a Thursday nighter, and it might go bad. And then you just see a lot of highlights of Tennessee. You never really get to see the real Tennessee Titans. It's good to see that they are in this position and still a contender in the AFC. So it's good for football for sure.
What's crazy is you got Kansas City plus 180, Buffalo plus 235. People are still putting Tennessee at plus 320. Way out of the range of those two teams. Yeah. They think Kansas City and Buffalo got a much better chance than Tennessee. I'm with you. I think if there's anything Vrabel has done a good job of, I think Tennessee wins this game. I think Tennessee covers. Yeah. I think that's a wrap. That means Kansas City or Buffalo is going to come back. Is going to come back to them. That's going to be interesting, right? What is this conversation? How are we going to have this conversation next week if Tennessee stomps on Cincinnati and Kansas City barely gets out of there with a field goal? That's the conversation I'm excited to have, right? I think we're overlooking Tennessee, and it's their chance to kind of show up and show out again. But I'm excited to see what Tennessee can do this week. I didn't get your pick there. You think Tennessee covers? You think Tennessee gets out of here?
Yeah, I think they make it out. I think they get past this round.
All right.
I think they get to the AFC
All right, Mike.
game.
I like this. Nashville hosting the championship game. Get ready. Get all those Vanderbilt students. Get your tickets ready. All right, we got some rapid fire prop bets, Mike. I want to bring this back. Tennessee, Cincinnati rapid fire prop bets. I just want you to give me the one word answer. Okay.
Okay.
First half total points, over or under 23.5?
Over. I was thinking 26 in my mind.
I like that. Jamar Chase, over or under 85.5 yards receiving?
Over.
Longest touchdown, Bengals or Titans?
Bengals.
Joe Burrow will throw for over or under 286.5 yards. Very specific.
Over.
Total combined touchdowns, over or under 5?
Under.
How many carries will Derrick Henry have? I like this question a lot.
14.
Ooh, this feels like Jeopardy. And will Ryan Tannehill rush for a touchdown?
No.
That's a great segment. I love the rapid fire. We're keeping track of those. I like those rapid fires. We're taking the rapid fire right into the betting academy because we've already done rapid fire. The term we're going over this week, Mike, is exact result futures. Okay. So what I want you to think of here, you ever bet on the horses? You got the exacto box, you know?
Yeah.
Where you got to predict the exact order of who's going to be there and are they going to win. So this is kind of the same. That's in my head at least. It's exact results future. So we're predicting not only who is going to be there, but who is going to win. But you and I have our own spin on it because we also like the storylines here. We're not just thinking we're just taking the 1 seeds and putting them in there. We're taking who are the best storylines, what are the best stories for the NFL, who do you want to see as a fan in the Super Bowl, and who do you want to see win?
I want to see Chiefs and the Packers. I think that's a shootout. I think that's a barn burner. And yes, I would love to see my coach Andy win one again, Patrick win one again. But I do think Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. And I can't put him ahead of the GOAT. It's been a bunch of great ones. Peyton Manning and Drew and a bunch of them. I won't continue to go into the list. But if AR can get one, that'd be real cool. I think Patrick gonna play 15 years. He gonna get one. And he gonna get another one. But this might send Aaron Rodgers off with a bang. That might send Aaron Rodgers off with a bang. But not sending out with...
Do you think he retires after this, or do you think he leaves Green Bay after this, maybe?
I think he leaves Green Bay after this. He's leaving Green Bay. Andy
and
Patrick, they're never leaving Kansas City. They're never leaving Kansas City.
You like the storylines. You like what Aaron Rodgers is bringing to the table. You like him finally winning this game.
Sunset. I think Aaron Rodgers deserved too. And I like that. Maybe that's not against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's against Buffalo. They got some business to take care of. But Aaron Rodgers walk off with another one. That'd be great. Okay.
Now I'm into all the '90s throwbacks. You know, I was a '90s kid. Grew up in the '90s. Born in '83, so I was a '90s teenager. With all the neon coming back, with all the big logos coming back, I feel like the '90s are coming back, and so I got the Niners over the Bills in the Super Bowl. A rematch, not a rematch, but a 90s type influence in the Super Bowl. I like the Niners going into Green Bay, getting that victory, just like I mentioned at the top of the show. And then I like the Bills coming out of Kansas City, going into Tennessee, getting those victories. My odds are plus 3,500. Yours are plus 1,200. You are a lot more reasonable. I'm letting cool trends influencing my stupid exacto bet. You at least have some logic and reason going into yours.
Yeah.
But
my bet sound like my bet a little more cooler than yours. Still trying to understand it. But that's that's what you. That's wishful thinking.
I feel like the 90s trends are coming back. All the 90s looks are coming back. The 90s lingo is coming back. I see kids out here wearing all the 90s type clothes. You know what I mean? I'm like, everything's coming back here. The Niners are a hot, cool team. The Bills are a hot, cool team. Whatever. The Packers are fine. They'll be. Aaron Rodgers is going to probably be in another Super Bowl. He's going to probably play 4 more years. Yeah, come on in. You know what I mean? We're trying to be culturally relevant out here in Los Angeles for another couple months. So why don't you come on out here? Right. Niners over the Bills.
See, this is why I want,
for my friends over there.
Reed. Yeah, this is why I don't want Coach Reed to win another ring and then retire. That's what I want. I want Coach to coach along. I love seeing him on the sideline.
I like that.
Sorry, we got a tangent.
No, you tangent all you want. The all-in bet. Yeah. So we're tossing this to John Mendoza. John Mendoza's got a couple questions for us. And then we're going to move into our all picks. Or John Mendoza, our winner of our first all-in picks, Vic's picks. Go ahead, John.
Hi, Mike and Dave. My name's John Mendoza. My favorite team would be the Los Angeles Rams. The question I had for Vic was, what did he think of the whole Dak Prescott thing, the end of game, where when he went to go try to spike the ball to end the game? Do you think that rule is a good rule? Meaning that, they didn't give them their final play. Should there have been a timeout called by the ref for the way the whole situation went down? And lastly, my all-in pick would definitely be the Bengals over the Titans. I feel like that's going to be the game that they're going to take it.
Yeah, I think the situation with Dak, obviously running a quarterback drawing a 2-minute drill is not it's ideal because, and it all depends on when you run it. I think you run that when you got a minute on the clock or a minute 26, you're just trying to catch the defense off guard when they thinking you're going to pass. To do it in that moment, I can understand why they did it. Dak just needed to get down a little sooner, find the referee, get him the ball, let the referee spot it. That would have probably bought him a second or two. And he might have had 1 second to clock it. Without that happening, with Dak putting the ball on the ground, the ref came in, bumped him. Dak got bumped by a lineman. It was a lot of confusion, a lot of crazy things going on, and I think that just cost him time. So, unfortunate situation that cost the Dallas Cowboys just a shot to throw the ball into the end zone. And a chance for a last-second heroic touchdown, which the odds of that happening was crazy. It was just about opportunity in that situation, and so. It's definitely something to learn from for the Dallas Cowboys moving forward. And I think, second part of your question, you say you expect Cincinnati to go on the road. Oh, good.
And beat Tennessee.
Yeah, you expect Cincinnati to go on the road and beat Tennessee. Obviously, they got the right guys to do it. They got Joe Burrow, they got Jamar Chase, they got Joe Mixon. That's a big three. And then on defense, you got some key guys. You got Woozy on the edge, and you got some decent players to fill in. Woozy at cornerback. So it's going to be tough. You got to come in and be willing to shut down the run and stop Derrick Henry. But I don't think people give the combination of receivers that Ryan Tannehill has and Julio Jones and AJ Brown enough credit. Big body receivers who can take over a game. And A.J. Brown's one of the best in the game, Pro Bowler, the best respected at his position. So, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Cincinnati. I think it's been a great year for them. If they don't advance, if they do, it's a magical season. But if they don't, I think they learn from these experiences. And they can chalk this year up as it's definitely a positive.
I was always told, hand the ball to the ref in 2 minutes. Don't hand it to anybody else. I don't care who has their hands up. Turn around, hand the ball to the guy. hand the ball to the ref. I don't remember anything else about 2 minutes, so that was frustrating to watch and for them to blame other people. But I'll leave that there. Mike, we want your all-in bets of the week. These odds are brought to you by the Fubo Sportsbook. All-in bets of the week. We got Bills at Chiefs. Here's a reminder. Bengals at Titans, 49ers at Packers, and the Rams at the Bucks. Who do you like for your all-in bet this week?
All-in bet probably it'll be Green Bay over the 49ers. Old school matchup.
I'll tell you what, Mike. We're going to be on opposite sides of this thing then, because I want the Niners covering the Packers. So only one of us is going to be right. Mike's on the Packers. Yeah. Dave Anderson's on the 49ers. Our all-in bets of the week. We might have to put something on it, but every week I want everyone to sign up, play
at kickoff.
0 degrees. They're not going to scare. They're not scared any San Francisco people. Everyone always gives us Cali people the crap. We're fine.
They up in San Fran right now with the little fitted hoodie on, just chilling. And they in Green Bay right now with they walking around with the. Hey man,
excuse me, Mike. They have Patagonia tech vests on. All right, they don't have fitted hoodies out there.
Hey, whatever. Yes, whatever it is, it's not a Green Bay worthy. I'll tell you that.
Every week, play Vic's Picks for free, and you can win a chance to be on the show with us and a chance for a free month of Fubo TV. Answer questions correctly at gs.predictionsgame.com for a chance to win. But, Mike, we're not getting out of here without our end of the show, which always means our off-hours questions of the week. Off-hours, Mike, why don't you tell people what you've been sipping on this whole show in between takes there? Why don't you got a little... You got a little right there for us.
It is technically off season for me, so shout out to off hours and the opportunity to continue to be great, late at night.
All right. What was the last TV show you binged? And where would you rank it on your favorite shows, top 5, 10, 20, or 50?
The last 5 TV shows.
Last TV show. No, what is the last TV show you binged?
Binge?
Watch start to finish. Binge. Binge is like start. I'm gonna do 5 in a row.
A word to add to my vocabulary. Ozark. It was really good too. I watched Ozark from start to finish. I think
top 5 or 10 on Mike Vick's list.
On my list, I would say probably top 10.
What is your favorite TV? What is your favorite TV show?
Oh man,
do you have
probably my favorite? Obviously Martin. I like to laugh, but then I was really into The Wire. I was really into Sons of Anarchy. Those probably The Sopranos was one of my favorites. So yeah, I got a Snowfall.
You watch. I appreciate that. You watch a lot of good television. That's a lot of good television. Yeah, I'm finishing up Dope Sick. I'm finishing up Dope Sick right now. It's a good one on what is it on? Hulu. And I wouldn't put it in my top 10. I put about half those shows you mentioned are in my top 10. I'm a Breaking Bad guy though. That was one of my favorites of all time. But
nice.
That Breaking Bad was my show. Thank you, Off Hours, for a little drink while you binge for the off hours question of the week. We're gonna be doing a lot of that.
Let's go binge, baby.
She might get the wrong impression. You can binge both of them.
Yeah, I know.
I wouldn't recommend it.
She's gonna think I'm talking about something else.
But that's it for the Gaming Society football show. We got a lot of wild card. We got a lot of football left. Couple weeks left. We got a big show between the Niners and the Packers. Because I'm trying to hold down my playoff record here. I'm Dave Anderson. That's Mike Vick. We'll see you guys next week. Make sure to sign up and subscribe at thegamingsociety.com and hit that follow button at The Gaming Society on all social platforms.